What's up, pretty gang? It's your favorite nail tech, Peaches, back with another video. In today's video, I really wish I had a better final result for you guys, okay? This is our starting point, and as you can see, there's a little bit of things to be concerned with, and if you want to see the final result, you're gonna have to watch the entire video because honestly, real time as I was doing it, I was pretty shocked. Okay, so before we get into it, our subscriber for today is Kiana. Make sure you guys are subscribed, notifications on so you don't miss anything. Follow me at Nailsbyprettyface on social media, and I have a bunch of coupon codes and discounts in the description bar. Okay, so first thing is first, I'm proceeding as normal. This particular client booked a couple days ago. She booked something incorrectly, and she did let me know that her toenails were looking kind of weird. She did book a removal, and so I'm kind of looking at the big toes trying to see, like, I knew I wasn't tripping because I felt like this seems a little wiggly, but she was saying like she noticed a darkening. Now, some people who do have a darker skin tone, at first glance, it would be normal to see that they have darker colored toenails. However, her other little toes were not this color. And looking at her other big toe, you can see it was also not this color. It was discolored in a different type of way. So I went ahead and put me on a glove because, as you can see, at first I was not really touching the actual real nail itself. What I was touching is like, part of the acrylic, but I went ahead and threw some gloves on just in case this happened to be something of a fungal origin or some sort of infection. I didn't want to take a risk, but either way, I was letting her know, like, we need to get this toenail off. Okay, so the first thing I did was went ahead and remove the gel polish. Obviously, this is not in real time. This is like double the speed. You guys have seen me use my e-file so many times, so you guys know what it looks like real speed. And honestly, I was pretty shocked at how far the discoloration went. You guys can see as I'm getting rid of the polish, this is the result. She did tell me that she went to a local shop that's actually popular-ish where I'm at, and I was pretty disappointed. Like, someone actually referred her to them, and it sucks because everyone knows, like, it's not the best place. But yeah, so upon getting the polish off, I went ahead and sprayed just to show her like how far it goes. And at this point, I'm not gonna lie, I was not sold that this was of a fungal type of origin. Now, there is a lot that goes in behind the scenes of deciding, is this fungus, is this not? So that's why I keep doing so many different inspections, and this is why I stress to you guys, please go do licensed, educated nail techs, because somebody else would either feel it or not know what to do or not be able to educate the client. So this is why I'm talking to her and telling her, asking her questions like, when did you notice it? She said a couple days ago. I'm like, did you have any intense excruciating pains in the past couple days? Because something with as much looseness and lifting as this, if it were as recent as she's noticed, you would have a lot of pain associated with that. I'm asking about fungal infections. I'm asking about basically her whole history. Are you on any special medications? Because sometimes medications can cause problems. Now, her answer to all these questions is no. So you can see I'm talking to her. I'm telling her like different areas of separations and things. I'm asking her, where did you go? How old are these toenails? Basically wanting to know, like, how many fills have you had on this set? And she said this is actually a set from about a month ago. And I'm like, well, it seems based on the grow out, this is a little bit over a month. This is closer to 2 months. And she was like, yeah. And so you have to have a process of elimination to I don't even know how to stress this, how important this is. You have to be able to rule out what's going on before I can just straight up tell her, let me remove these and you'll be fine. So when she initially contacted me on Instagram, well, not on Instagram, but through the messaging system I use through Square when people book appointments, she did tell me, like I said, she said she notices like underneath the acrylic something seems to be off. And I did tell her, okay, we're gonna take a look, and based on what's going on, we will decide if we should proceed with acrylic or not. So originally she did book a deluxe acrylic pedicure. In my chair, that means you're getting a deluxe pedicure with 10 acrylic toes. Before we even started this process, I did ask her, do we need to remove all 10 or how many are left? And she thought I was asking how many nails she wants acrylic. And that's when I figured out she really just wanted acrylic on the big toes, okay? So upon removing the polish off of this one, this is what I saw. And I was honestly very shocked because if you can see the bulk of that white in the front, that is nail tint, okay? And so I'm looking like, girl, That tan in the middle, I can already tell that's some sort of lifted something. Like, things are just not right, you know? And anyone who knows me, I document everything, not to embarrass, not to make fun. That's why no one's tagged. That's why, you know, everything is anonymous. You'll only see the foot and nothing else. Because of education, I'm having to educate her because, like I said, she's not from out here. She took a chance with the shop, you know, these past couple of months. Things have been going progressively downhill. This is not what she's used to. And so I'm letting her know, like, yeah, I'll be honest with you, these toenails are more than likely going to just fall off or come off or whatever the case may be. I'm still investigating, and I'm telling her I don't believe this to be fungus. I'm asking questions, and what we came up with is the fact I'm like, regardless on what's going on underneath, I need to remove this acrylic off. So obviously I take my 4X coarse bit and I am removing as much acrylic as possible, and then I am going to basically wrap them in acetone. And then I saw her fingernails because she was there to get her nails done too, and I noticed that they were looking a little funky as well. And so basically she came for a removal of acrylic on her big toes, a basic set on her hands, acrylic pedicure on her feet, and I just, you guys can see, like, it's holding water, it's lifting. She basically left with a manicure and a pedicure. I'll be honest with you right now. The hands, I do have the behind the scenes on that, and so I'll probably save that for another video, because otherwise this video would have just been so long. But you guys, you have to be careful on who you go to, who you trust, because so many people out here do not give a shit, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and do the same on the other foot. And you can see this toenail, it just looks way worse. Like I said, this is why, absolutely why I tell people, if you're a nail tech, please stop playing on people if you're not licensed or anything, because look at the type of damages that can be caused, okay? And if you're a client, please, even if you go to a licensed person, go to someone who is licensed and educated. There are so many things I learned in school on, hey, when can I service, when can I not, how to know when something is fungal, how to know when something is just straight up damage. Those things matter. And I'm sorry to sound so, like, if I'm bashing anyone who has not gone to nail school, that's not the case. I'm just sheerly giving you an example on why what I say is, like, needs to be heard, because things like this happen. And when I asked her about her lifestyle and things like that, she said she does wear steel toe boots. And that's when I really kind of like, ding ding ding, okay, the length of these toenails, right, not even just grown out, but their starting length would have been inappropriate for someone who wears steel toe boots and does deliveries. You know what I'm saying? Because although she may not have felt significant pain or anything like that, and I was glad to know that, like, the product they used wasn't horrible. That's another thing. Normally nail shops use absolute trash product. Clearly you can tell this is not just, you know, that gunky EMA type, you know, absolute no. But I can't say that this is actually quality product. I'll just say this stuff right here, it's just decent as far as removals go, okay? So you can see, like, the toenail is wiggling all the way to the cuticle area, okay? And so, like I said, she did tell me she does delivery, she wears steel toe boots, and that's like, if you're gonna put an acrylic on someone who wears steel-toed boots, you guys, those are boots. Like, my dad used to be an electrician, and, you know, if you know anyone that does construction work or things like that, those are the type of boots that she's wearing, okay? And so in no way would you even have a toenail, even your regular toenails should not be past the very tip of her toe. And when I say the tip, I mean, when you turn your foot over, she should not be able to see any type of nail. Okay, especially because I already knew, I'm like, I bet you your boots fit just perfectly with no space. And she's like, yeah. So now that the acrylic is off, I'm looking and I'm showing her, like, girl, it's not okay. And she's like saying, like, it looks dead. I'm like, that's exactly what happened. Your toenail is dead. Your toenail has pretty much died from probably not only in unsafe practices from these nail shops, well, the nail shop she was going to, because I can tell you right now, even her little toenails, some of them were kind of thin, and I'm like, I can tell they file off gel polish like very fast and furious, and they're probably filing on your nails fast and furious. But that acrylic toe hitting against those steel-toed boots is not a good thing. So you can see the acrylic on this one, it was already lifting. There was so much water underneath, and this, like I said, that white at the front, that is the nail tip. And I almost certainly knew that they used nail tips because of you know, that's just how a lot of shops do. But you can see how poorly done these nails were. Granted, they weren't extremely thick on the actual nail itself, except for when you get to the tip. But this whole thing, you guys, there is nothing that I could have done to prevent this. The only, like, I was very sad to see this. So you can see how much of that is like actual nail tip, and I'm showing her every step of the way. I'm updating my Instagram every step of the way, because the thing is, people need to see what these chop shops can do. And not even just that, but there are individual nail techs out there that can produce these same results if you're not knowledgeable, if you're not asking the right questions, if you don't care about people's nail health. And so I'm showing her, like, girl, look, this is all not attached. Like, look at this nude colored here. And so I was very sad to see this happen to her, but I was very glad she was able to find me. She actually found me on TikTok, which is crazy, because honestly, I don't get that many people that find me on TikTok. It's only but a few here and there, but I was very glad that I was able to remove them. I did keep my gloves on for the service, and I did change them a lot, and, you know, wash hands a lot. In my heart of hearts, I knew like this wasn't a fungal problem, but I did just decide to keep my gloves on anyways, just because I mean, I already had them on, so it's like So at this point, we did a pedicure and everything like that, because like I said, I felt like there was no fungal problem here. But I decided, I'm like, girl, I'm gonna cut your toenail low. And she was like, you know, I would actually prefer if you cut off as much as possible. And I said, no problems, because in no way, shape, or form should she receive any type of acrylic toenail, you guys. I see way too many people doing these transformations and where they're cutting off the complete toenail and there's literally damn near nothing left, and they're still putting acrylic. To me personally, I don't like condone that. People are gonna do what they're gonna do, but the problem is, you see how lifted this is because it's not attached. Even if I did get all the way down to the nitty gritty, and there's a sliver of where I can attach a little acrylic, the thing is, the majority of the nail bed is not attached, and that little tiny sliver would not be enough to like functionally sustain an enhancement. And so you have people saying, well, you just come every week or two, and they're saying that because they know themselves it can't sustain any type of enhancement. And so you have to keep coming. I mean, look at her toe. It is booty bald. It is like butt naked. There's not even any like ridges. There's no nothing on her natural nail bed. And this is how I know, like, it has completely separated to a point where all I can do is cut it completely down. Because at some point, and I was telling her, at her cuticle area, it is like so ridged up, and you can see every time I wiggle it, every time I move it, it moves all the way into the cuticle area. And that's why I keep checking to see if any is attached the further down I go, and unfortunately it is not. And I told her, eventually this is gonna, if you hear that, if your toenail grows back, and I could not promise her that it even will, because I don't know the extent of the damage, because this is only what we can see. And so the thing is, where your nail grows from, where it grows from the matrix and the mantle, that is underneath the skin in an area that we cannot see, okay? And so if that areas are damaged to a point, like to a certain point, your toenails don't have to grow back. They may not grow back, or they may grow back completely looking weird. So I couldn't promise her anything, but I could tell her this toenail is going to come off. It is going to fall off because it is not attached. So you can completely see, like, there is nothing. She doesn't have any ridges, no anything. Your natural nail bed is not this smooth and soft. And that's what I was telling her, like, do you see? And she was honestly shocked, because to her personally, that's nothing that she felt or anything. And I was telling her, I'm like, yeah, because it was over a period of time, and as you kept going back for fills or new things, I'm like, it's probably something that happened in the past like 2 months. But the set you have on now, it was new, which means that what grew back in was still non-connected and damaged, which means she may have possibly damaged the area where her nail grows from. And so I was telling her, I'm like, you know, there was a sliver of hope. I'm not going to take away all your hope, because there is an area where there is a little bit pink on that side. And so I'm just even looking, I'm like, girl, it's gone. So this is over here. I'm like, you see that little piece of pink over there? I'm like, that is not damaged. I said, so I don't know how far back that extends, but that could give you a little hope. And I told her, like, toenails, if you're not familiar with the growth rate, just like a standard growth rate of toenails, if you lose an entire toenail like this, technically it would take you a full year to completely grow that toenail to the tip of your toe. It can be faster depending on your individual growth rate, but just generally speaking, it would be a year. And for fingernails, it's 6 months. I have lost an entire fingernail and it grew back in about 3 months, and my fingernail was this short. So, you know, I did tell her, you know, stay up on your vitamins, eat a lot of fresh fruits and veggies, leafy greens, dark green vegetables, things like that, in the, you know, high intake of water, so that way you can get your vitamins and minerals from actual fresh foods rather than just vitamins alone, just because your body will take that and use that as a source of healthiness, basically. But you guys can see this is what she's left with, and unfortunately it honestly pains me to see that people are making such poor choices when they are working on people, and there's a lot of people who do not know the rights and wrongs of how things should go. And this is why I'm here to educate. And like I said, I wish there was a better end result than this, and unfortunately this is the best that I could give her. There is nothing that I could do for her currently that is going to make this magically grow back. I'm not putting any acrylic on this because there's nothing for the acrylic to stick to. So I did tell her, like, you know, let's work on maybe come back in about a month or so. There's no point in coming back sooner because nothing will have grown, but take a picture like once a month that will help you see the differences in your toenails. So this is me just educating her some more, and I'm letting her know in this area, you see how there are like these ridges and things like that. I said that's not necessarily a bad thing, because the more of those you see, and the less like soft looking that your toenail looks, and the more ridges and things you see, that's a little bit of encouragement, because that means your nail bed and your is trying to like recreate something for something else to stick to, basically. So on this nail, we cut off way less toenail. A lot of it was already gone. So if you can see where I'm cutting underneath that, it does look like, oh, that's more nail. Nope, that is her nail bed. It's just her, this side wasn't booty bald, it was not booty naked. And so there was some gunk under here, and that is just because there's an area of where like stuff is a little bit connected, and this is just like old I don't want to say like toe jam or something, but product, whatever you want to call it, soap scum, things like that. So this right there, what I'm touching, I'm telling her this is soft, this is what's hard, this is what's lifted. And I told her this one's probably just gonna pop off, but I will keep cutting until we get to a point of, you know, where it's solid. But even the rest of that nail, I was telling her, I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna pop off. This one does seem to be in a better condition, but I cannot make no promises, you guys. And so this video, I made it just to show you guys the realities of all this stuff. Everyone wants to look pretty, everyone's doing this, everyone's doing that, you know, oh, I'm a nail tech, I'm a this, I'm a that. Y'all have to be careful, because y'all can put people in situations to where nails do not have to grow back. I cannot stress that enough. It could be the first nail injury you ever had. It don't have to grow back, and there's nothing you can do. That's based on genetics, that's based on your matrix, your mantle, all of those things that we cannot see, that's underneath these parts of the nail, that can get damaged in such a way that it don't have to come back. And so, like I said, I really feel bad that this is the best result that I could give her. But we did do a pedicure, we did do a massage, we oiled her up, and in the end, it did, you know, in the end, it did look better overall. But you know, all I can do is give her tips to help navigate these new sensations she's gonna feel, because when you no longer have a nail or a covering, things can feel a little bit odd. And I told her, you know, you will kind of like toughen up to it a little bit. The skin is gonna toughen up a little bit, so you won't be able to feel that. But you know, I'm just gonna hope and wish and pray that she does in the next couple of months get a better result. But absolutely in no way, shape, or form will I be putting acrylic on either of these toenails until all of the old is gone and I see fresh new toenail coming in that is of a decent length. Okay, so unfortunately, like I said, this is the final result of what I was able to do for her. I feel bad that this is all we can do, but you guys, health comes first always. So hopefully this kind of gave you an idea of the type of things that I do come across on a daily basis and how I handle those things. I appreciate you guys for watching, and of course I'll see you guys in the next video.